to the point that I just started saying, you guys are completely full of it. I would have Johnson and Day tell me, you don't know how hard it is to change back to let them do chow runs. Really? With a snap of the fingers, you changed it on September 3rd. Now all of a sudden it's hard to do? To treat our people fairly at work, with respect? I don't believe it. And I stopped communications with them because all they were doing was using us to check that box. And I will swing it back. Because I'm not signing up for some collaboration while my members are still getting smacked around in the field. I will swing it back and let them know. And Lil Hood thinks, once we resolve this contract issue, we're going to go collaborate hand in hand down next gen. No. In order for us to go hand in hand down next gen, there must be a trust. You don't just automatically give them that trust. You must establish that trust by negotiating fair agreements and MOUs at the local and regional and national level, and resolving these problems that are happening across the country. The firing of the probation employees.
I've been your executive vice president for 6 years, and you pretty much saw my style then, and I am who I am. I'm a very different person than Pat Foray. I do like to make more public view of our problems, and I think that we build alliances and build strength when there is public accountability. It cannot just be secret meetings with the FAA, and we've had a lot of secret meetings with the FAA. Personally, I believe if the FAA says we need to keep this meeting secret, then we need to not have the meeting, because they've already got you at that point. Now, I'm not saying that we publicize every meeting and every discussion that's had, but the fact that we are meeting should not be a secret. But when it comes to holding FAA managers accountable, let's imagine the imposed work rules are gone, we're back under the Green Book, we have all of the rights and privileges, and the grievance process is fixed. We're still going to have managers in the field that do very bad things. And just relying on the grievance process over and over and over again is only part of the solution. Yes, we need to grieve every violation, absolutely without question, and I did that when I was in office. I don't file the grievances as executive vice president, the president doesn't do it either. But our departments did, and you have to support the field. You have to support our FAC reps with the tools they need, answering the calls when they come in, and making sure that every member of the NACA staff knows that their job is to support our members in the field. I think that's very important. But when it comes to holding managers accountable, there's a number of ways to do it. And one of the things I've been talking to people about in the field is our managers are making very costly decisions. And they're doing it to express their will, their strength, their control over the bargaining unit. But those costs don't come to the FAA. Those costs come to the taxpayers. So when a controlled probationary employee is fired for being late on a snow day, or because he got checked out through the tower and wanted his CTO, they're costing the taxpayers about $150,000 in screening and salary costs because we have to replace that employee. We should be willing to place a dollar figure on that and publicize it. The reason why we don't have NextGen is because these managers are making these costly decisions. It's not controller pay. The reason why we can't do more at the FAA is because we have too many managers wasting too much money making bad decisions. Personnel decisions are costly. We need to start putting dollar figures to it and publicizing it. Maybe we come up with a list, a roll of the expensive management decisions, and those costs will be far higher than their end-of-year spending sprees. But the cost to the taxpayers in actual FAA dollars is just part of it. When we start quantifying what these bad decisions start to cost the users, then we see millions and millions and millions of dollars sucked out of our economy. Remember, everybody's talking about the economy. We have to be able to put our arguments in a way that say we want to help. We want to make government more efficient, and eliminating these costly decisions involves eliminating these costly managers or not allowing them to make those decisions unilaterally. So there are a lot of different arguments we can make, and we have to make all of them. We can't just use one process or another. We have to be willing to use publicity, legislation, and the grievance process.
There's a follow-on question, then we're going to take a real quick break, 3 to 5 minutes at the most. Request at the podium here. They are controllers and they can't work this long without a break. Yes, sir.
Do you plan on trying to get any managers, especially the VPs and Hank, fired to send a message for the treatment of NACA over the last 3 years?
Fired is a harsh word. removed of their responsibility and able to seek other opportunities in the private sector. That's what they like to do in government. There are certain people that are in positions that will preclude us from moving forward, and those people need to be reshuffled. And reshuffling includes going out into the private sector to find other opportunities. I don't think it serves NACA for us to have a hit list, but it does serve NACA to make it very clear to the administration who the barriers are to progress. So, yes.
When I met with the transition team, the Obama transition team, and it was Jane Garvey, one down, Wayne DuPont, I gave them a list of names. And I said, I don't care if you give us the greatest Secretary of Transportation. I don't care if you give us the greatest Secretary Administrator. But there is a dam that is going to block any progress from happening in the field. There's an elite group of managers out there that don't respect what you do for a living. They don't care about you. They're just evil and deceitful people. Now, can we get them fired? I would like to think so. But Nome, Alaska is a good place we can send them all to. Get them completely outside our realm where they can affect the air traffic control world. That's what we need to do. And there's a list of them. If you want me to go off on them, I kind of have my own little hit list. Johnson, Dave, Bouchard, Cassidy, Ventris Gibson, Hank Rikowski, and it goes on and on. Wertz and manager in Memphis. I mean, it just goes on and on. They have been held unaccountable. They just make these random decisions, and nobody is holding them accountable. Because in 2006, when they had their St. Louis meeting, Bruce Johnson stood up and he said, "You do it, and I got you back all the way to the top." And he has not wavered from that one bit. He has, regardless of how ridiculous the decision is, he has just supported his management team to the top. That has got to change. And you know what? If you take the heads off of those people that I just talked about, and Hank just reshuffled them. He put Ducharme in charge of en route, and he put Johnson down to the 8th floor. The bottom line is they're still there. They're still in FAA headquarters, still blocking progress when we get an administrator and when LaHood starts moving this process forward. So we must work on getting them moved out. Thank you.
I'll just speak on this a little bit because I have experience in it. At Washington Center, the management team despised me. I forced suspensions. I got one removed, and I continue that tact. I will continue that tact. I want people thrown in jail for indiscretions against them. A federal grand jury investigation is pending against Washington Center management for exposing us to asbestos. The DOT IG, I just talked to him a few weeks ago. He said the balloon is about to raise. And when it raises, when it climbs, everybody will be affected. These people need to be held accountable. I've used actions and tactics to make them accountable. And I want to continue that.
I'm going to be brief. I was a facility rep at Houston Center when Jane Garvey was the FAA administrator. And Bruce Johnson was the air traffic manager at that facility when I was a facility rep. So I'm here to say, I don't care who the administrator is, the field issues are always going to be there. We've got to train our membership how to deal with those rogue managers that will always be there. We can ask for them to be fired, ask for them to be removed. But we still have to maintain our focus, train our people to deal with these kinds of management types because they're always going to be there. Those are the people that could never do our job, never understand our job, and run away from our job. So yes, it will be impossible for NACA to move forward with certain people in the places they are right now. So they will need to be put aside in whatever place they decide to put them. I have an idea where I'd like to see them for us to move forward and collaboratively